When you get to this section, you are going to now complete your simulation so that you can investigate amplitude by modeling it. So what you're going to do is go ahead and click on this link to get to this site. If you don't get to this site and they're asking you to log in, please go back to Google Classroom and click on the Amplify login info sheet so that you can get the correct login information and plug it in. If you have to do it that way, you want to click on Waves, Energy, and Information. Just remember the dolphins is what we're focusing on. When you click on that, you'll get to this page. When you get to this page, according to your directions, you're going to click on the orange number 1, sound waves. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that. I'm going to continue to bounce back to my classwork because I want to make sure I'm following directions. The directions are going to tell me to open the custom sound mode in this sound wave sim. So I'm going to come back to my simulation. I'm going to come over to these 3 lines here, click on that. That's how I'm going to get to the custom sound mode. I'm then going to click on custom sound and it brings me to this page. Right, it changes it a little bit, allowing us to actually see the amplitude slider here and allowing us to also see a wave printout. You want to make sure your waveform is on and you want to make sure your volume is on. In this box, you are also able to see the waveform. So there are a lot of opportunities for us to see how the waveform is going to get taller or shorter as we play with or explore the amplitude slider. Continuing on in the directions, they're telling you to press play so that you can play a sound. It's just going to be a regular sound. It's not going to be the instruments. While the sound is playing, you are going to use the amplitude slider to change the sound. While we are changing the sound with the amplitude slider, you are going to make sure you're observing with your eyes and your ears. You're going to make sure you're observing what happens as we change the sound. So make sure you are making those observations so that it makes it easier for when you come to answering your questions in your classwork. So going back to my simulation, I'm going to go ahead and test that out. Right now, there is nothing on our wave printout because we haven't tested it. We haven't pressed play. Our amplitude is currently set on medium, so we are currently seeing a medium wave. Without me playing it, even if I move the amplitude slider right now, you can notice in this box how the wave changes. When I go to small, it flattens out. I go back to medium, I'm starting to see a wave again. And when I go to large, notice that it is actually touching the edges. So again, without even playing the sound with my eyes, I'm able to notice the difference in the waves. When I go to small, it begins to flatten out. When I go back to medium, we are able to see the waveform. We are able to see a peak here, telling us how tall this wave or how tall this sound wave is. When I go to large, we are again able to see that the waves are beginning to touch the top and the bottom of this tape, letting me know that the amplitude is very tall in height. Now we're going to go ahead and test it and start playing with the sound. So I'm going to go ahead and press play. While I'm pressing play for this first one, I am going to try to, on the same wave printout, go from medium to small and to large so that we can see the difference on one wave printout. So just with my eyes, we'll do it again so we can hear it differently. Just with my eyes, I'm noticing this wave printout. It went from a medium wave, to a flat wave, to a medium again, and now it's the tallest it's going to get here when I went to large. So this wave form right here was medium. This right here was small. Whenever you see it flatten out like that, it is getting smaller. It goes back to medium because medium is never touching the top or bottom of the tape. And now we get to the large waveform because the waves are touching the top and the bottom of the tape. And it goes right back to medium. So with my eyes, I'm able to see how the waveform changes based on the amplitude being small, medium, and large. So once again, this section right here is a medium amplitude. This section right here is a small amplitude, and then we jump from medium to large right here. Medium would never touch the top and bottom, large will touch the top and bottom, and small will flatten out. Now let's go ahead and focus on the sound. I'm going to bring my amplitude slider right back to medium. I'm hearing it get louder when it gets to large. And now I hear it and it's quiet, right? I don't hear anything. So I go from hearing it at medium. When I move the amplitude slider to large, I notice that the sound got louder. When I moved the slider to small, I noticed that there was no longer sound. So that's different. That's interesting. So I'm noticing that when I move this amplitude slider, it has to do with how loud or quiet something is. So when we talk amplitude, we're talking loudness, we're talking quietness, right? So when I click play again, I go to small, I'm hearing nothing. But when I go back to medium, there's that medium sound. And then when I go to large, it got louder. So I want us to remember, when I think about sound and I think about hearing, in my observations, the amplitude has a lot to do with how loud something is or how quiet something is. And when we think about the waves, we think about the smaller the amplitude, the flatter the line. When I look at this printout, when the waveform is in the middle there, it is not touching the top or the bottom. That is a medium wave. And when I think about large, I think about the large waveform, the heights touching the top and bottom of the tape.